Well, Dave, this was in fact a morning hearing by Inkster building inspectors who time and again have found Bale and his properties in violation of city codes. Bale never showed up this morning, but he will soon hear that he is facing over $27,000 in new fines and that this is a city that's clearly had enough.
Our future is completely in limbo, and there's a lot of children depending on this home to keep them warm and to keep...
Laura Dolan and her sister were among the first to testify at this morning's hearing in Inkster. They rent this 4-bedroom house on Hazelwood in Inkster from Leonard Bale and hope to call it home for years to come. But they quickly discovered it was in very bad shape.
Several of our windows are held in their frames with plastic grocery shopping bags. The kitchen sink was falling apart and had to be replaced.
Then they found out that they were renting a house that the owner, Leonard Bale, is about to lose in foreclosure for failing to pay more than $6,000 in taxes. Bale also never had the house inspected by the city, so there is no certificate of occupancy as required by ordinance. The women and their 7 children may soon be forced to move.
We're terrified. We don't have any other options. All we have is each other in this house, and now we have nothing.
I hope he can eventually be stopped so he cannot harm any more families and do this to anybody else. It's not fair and it's not right.
Kathleen bought this house on Spring Arbor on a land contract from Bale, found out about the broken pipes that Bale didn't tell her about, and she too moved out, along with her 2 children, but lost her $1,100 down payment. So why are you doing that, Mr. Bale? We still have many questions for Mr. Bale and his business practices, but he hasn't answered our calls since this November day as he left the Dearborn Heights courthouse. In today's administrative hearing, Leonard Bale was called to answer complaints and citations on 7 different properties he owns that were either not livable or simply failed to comply to city rules.
This property is owned by Leonard Bale or Wolverine Investments. Leonard Bale, Leonard Bale, Leonard Bale.
Bale wasn't there to answer the complaints, but will soon hear about substantial fines.
I am finding him responsible and defaulting him for the amount of $4,000 plus $10 state judgment fee for a total of $4,010. But on top of that, I am going to be referring this matter to the city attorney.
And the fines added up over the 7 houses. In today's hearing, Bale had already been assessed some $42,000 in fines. Add today's $27,000, and he now owes the city of Inkster some $69,000. Obviously, he hasn't paid the former and the new fines, but it now appears the city of Inkster is going after that money more aggressively than they have up until now. Clearly, the city at this point isn't kidding around.
Well, Bill, the fines are big, but is that enough to make him change his ways?
You know what? It's been very interesting. These fines have been tagged on to the value of the property. He's not been forced up until now to write a check for what it is he's been fined. Well, now they think they're going to try to push it into court, and that could change.
All right. Thank you, Bill.